Welcome back, Loomers, to another tutorial. And in this tutorial, you're probably going to be skipping the first three, well, sorry, no, the second and the third, actually, video tutorials for Yoshi in order to be able to create this section of the tutorial. I'm going to be showing you how to create the new redesigned configuration for Yoshi's shoes. They are a lot more even, they're easier to make, and they look just so much better. The bands I'm going to be using for these are actually from the Persian collection from Loom, and these that I got are the caramel chocolate color. They come in a 600 pack. For the shoes, we're going to be using about 300 of these bands for each one. So let's go ahead and get started. This is a hook only design. You should already have your base or your sole of your shoe, which is the bottom part, from the previous tutorial. And for that part, I'm going to be putting the link up here, so you guys can be able to just go ahead and click on that instead and make this first. When you get to this point, you're going to come over to this tutorial, and what you're actually going to be doing on that part of the tutorial also is you're going to be adding bands all around here. Now, I don't remember exactly how like how many bands it takes to be able to put them on. I mean, in terms of just like which ones to pick on how many, if it's either 4 or 2. But right here, there's this border. This border is 35 sections all around. So it should be 35 sections all around. And instead of grabbing like 4, we're only going to grab the top 2 bands, which is this top one right here and this top one right here. So you guys see what I'm talking about? We're going to be grabbing those. You're going to be grabbing your bands, the color that you're going to be using, and we're going to be doing the same design for both Yoshi, Koopa Troopa, and Koopa Troopa. So I'm going to be having you guys do the same shoe design, exactly the same, but for your Koopa Troopa and your Troopa when we make it. Alright, and afterwards we can be able to put in your shoe on Yoshi. Now, I'm getting a lot better at counting. You guys know that I hate counting bands, but I'm doing a lot better now. So what I've pictured right here is I just did a quick little sketch, which look awful, but in order to be able to know this is your left foot and your right foot, I usually always do my left foot first, and this is going to be my right foot. And the way I know is because I loom this way first. So I'm going to be looming this way. So when I loom, I'm going to be looming in this direction, okay? And that's how you figure out which one's your right and which one's your left. And it just slants slightly, just slightly, and it also has your pattern looking in a certain direction. And so this is going to be Yoshi's left shoe, okay? Or your Koopa Troopa or Troopa, whichever one you're doing. If you're doing Koopa Troopa, then your shoe will be green. If you're doing the Troopa, your shoe will be red. And if you're doing a different colored Yoshi, then your shoe will be that color. Let's go ahead and get started. The first thing you need to do is go ahead and get to that section from that previous video where you're just going to be adding your 35 bands all around. Actually, it should be like 34 more because you already have your slip knot on here already. At least you should have your slip knot. Otherwise, how else would it be held together? Once you have all of them put all together and get to this point, okay, gosh, I'm sorry. I don't know why I said 35 bands. It's actually 32 bands. You're going to be using 32 bands in total of Yoshi's top shoe. In this case, I'm using the brown. So whichever color you're using, you're going to be using 32. Now that we have gotten to this point, right? Since this one was my left shoe, I started to loom this direction. So I got it from here and I started to loom this direction. So this time I'm going to be starting to loom this direction. Okay? So if you're doing the right shoe like I am, you're going to follow me. But if you're doing the left shoe, then do the opposite and go this way. First, you're going to go ahead and grab your slip knot. Now, your slip knot, you're going to go ahead and undo it carefully because we're actually going to do it a little bit different from the previous time. We want to grab both ends. So I want to have it like so. I want to have both ends. Okay, so do you see how it is on there now? Now that I have both ends on there, I'm going to go ahead and start to loop. Right? So it's not that hard, don't worry. But from here, we're going to go ahead and grab our first band, which is these two parts. Okay. From here, we're going to go ahead and keep these two on your hook, and now you're going to grab these two from inside. Okay, and you're going to insert these two. There we go. Yeah. That's getting in my way, so it's kind of confusing me. Alright, now that we have 4 bands well, 2 bands technically, but 4 sections on our 4 rows on our hook, we're going to transfer these two, the first 2, through the back 2. Oof, okay, hopefully you guys got that. Okay, let me do it again so that, because it got blurry in that part. Let me do it again. Get everything all fixed up first. Okay, so again, I'm going to go ahead and put them on my hook. And now I'm going to go ahead and transfer these two through these two, like that. There's my first one. Now I'm going to grab the next one, the inside first, and then the outside. And I'm going to transfer these through those two. And there's my next one. Transfer these next ones. Grab them from the inside to the outside and put them through. Oop. I want to make sure that both of them go through. So I need to do it again. There's my 2 bands. The next 2 from the inside to the outside. Pull through. Next one from the inside to the outside. Pull through. And it should be leaving that braid in behind. Do this all the way around. I'm going to go a little bit faster now. If you happen to mess up, just go back and reclaim them. Oh, keeps coming through. It's not what I want. There we go. Make sure you grab the correct ones always. Otherwise, you may have a problem later. Like right now, I'm definitely not grabbing the correct ones. There we go. Try that again. Okay, I'm approaching my last one. Now that I have my last one, alright, my first row is complete. So now that you have your first row, we're going to go ahead and start on our second row, okay? And our second row, we're going to need 32, so go ahead and count 32 bands. I have 32 bands on there now. So now that I have my 32 bands, I know that exactly how many I'm going to be doing on this next row, so I know it's going to be coming out evenly, just like this one. And I'm not going to do any less or any more. The first thing we need to do is grab the first two, which are going to be these two that are on here, which is that one that became our slip knot. We're going to grab those two. All right. Once you have those two, you're going to grab one band, your first one, and pass it through just the first two and reclaim it. When you have it like that, you're going to pass these two through these two. Okay? And that's the start of your first row. Now we're going to go on to the next row. Start going from the inside to the end. So actually, I need to teach you about the stitches. So these rows right here are called stitches. And what I mean by that is that, there it is. During these stitches, hold on, let me fix my lighting. Okay. During these stitches, okay, these top ones are all stitches. We're going to be doing the same thing pretty much as we did for our bottom part of our shoe. We grab the top two bands, okay? Ooh, come on, focus. The top two bands, so one here and one here. So you always grab the top two, no matter what. So this is the one that's already been taken, so we're going to go directly onto this one. This is going to be the next one we're going to do. So we're going to grab the top two bands, one from each side. That's going to be number 2. And put it through. Now that you have 4 of them, put through, oops, let's do that again. I'm going to put these two through these two. Now that I have that, I'm going to go into my next one. This one's already been claimed, so I'm going to go onto this stitch right here. Okay. And I'm going to grab my third one. Okay. Now that I have that, I'm going to pull that through. Okay. And next, I'm going to go ahead and grab my next one. This one's already been claimed because I'm clearly pulling from it, so I'm going to grab the next one available, which is this one, and only 1, not 3. There you go. That one. Pull that through these two, reclaim it, and pull it through. You see the second row forming? Okay. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 that we've done already. We're going to go ahead and continue. Yeah, it should be 4. So the next one. And pull it through. Grab the next one. Reclaim. And now pull these two right through. Grab the top two. And pull through. Okay, now the next one. Yeah, okay. Okay, I'm on my last one now. This is 32. Okay. And I've obviously completed because I'm right in the back in the middle if I hold it up like this straight. Okay. So this was our second row. Our third row, we're going to do 22 bands, okay? So go ahead and count out 22 bands. Once you have your 22 bands set, now we can go ahead and start in our third row. So go ahead and continue. I've already done this one, so I'm obviously going to go on to this next row. Just keep continuing until you've used all 22. Also be very cautious you're not doubling or skipping any. This is not like your other Lumigurumi patterns. It's slightly different. I mean, you can still call it Lumigurumi. But honestly, I don't know if anybody does it this same way that I do. I haven't seen any Lumigurumi patterns that kind of mimic the same way. Besides, I made this one quite a long time before it became popular, so if anyone has done it before me, and you've named it already, well, I'm sorry. But for now, I'm claiming it as mine. Keep in mind that I did this back in 2014. Okay. Because my Yoshi is almost a year old. At least my original Yoshi. Okay, my last one. And I'm gonna end up right here. Okay, so I end up right here with the last one. Now we're gonna go on to row number 4. On row number 4, we're gonna need 10 bands. When you have your 10 bands, we're going to start on row number 4. Okay, so this is my front of my shoe, as you can see, because this is the big part. Instead of continuing this way, I'm going to now go in this direction. And here's how we're going to do this next part. Okay. See where my band is coming from? Okay. Hold on. Yeah, okay. Sorry, I needed to get something out. Right. Now, in order to be able to figure out which one's going to be next, right, it's obviously coming out from this one onto my hook. We obviously cannot go back inside this one because that's going to be retarded. Otherwise, everything's going to be in shambles. So it's not going to be that one. It's going to be the one right after that one that we go on to next, which is this one and this one. Do you see? So now I have this one laying there. So it should look like that if you pull on it. That's how you know which one's your next one to go to. Go ahead and grab your first one of 10. And we're going to continue on with that pattern. Pull it through and reclaim it. And now pull these two. So it should look like that with a double band right here. Okay. Now continue on until you've used all 10 of your bands. Okay, so now that I've used all 10 of my bands, row number 4 has been done. Now we're going to go ahead and start with row number 5. Row number 5, you're going to need 11 bands. Okay, there's my 11 bands. Now, again, we're going to cross over. So right here, this is my front again. We just did this part. Now we're going to go again back this direction. So, again, I'm not going to grab that one. I'm going to grab the one right next to it. Okay, so not this one because it's coming out this band. These bands are coming out from this section. So I want to grab this one instead. So again, go ahead and go through the top 2. There we go. And you see how there's 2 bands now right here. That's what you want. Grab your first one. This is row number 5, and we're going to use 11 bands. Now go on to your next one. Okay, we are at this point where we are right here where our double bands are. So I'm gonna go ahead and just grab the top two right here. Grab my next band. Oh, sorry. Grab those two. Sorry. Those two plus the two that are being crossed, which are these. So you're going to be going through 4 bands in total. Go through those 4. Reclaim it. And now pass it through your 2. Now you just cross those. So you're going to go directly onto the one that's next. The way you can be able to tell is obviously you're not going to put it on this one because it's only one band. You're going to do it on to the next one. Okay. In order to be able to figure out, like I said, how to be able to transition from here to this row, I'm going to show you right now. So you can always be able to make sure. You see how this one is being pulled from here, but these two are together. And this one's being separated because it's being pulled from this one. Then you know that this is the one that you want to get. Because this one's obviously only going to be 1. And this one has 2, so you have to separate it. So you have to grab this one, obviously. So now we're going to go ahead and finish our last 2 bands and grab those 2. So you see now. And we do 2 because one is for a plantation and the next one is to help elongate it. So there is our 5th row. Now onto the 6th row. 6th row, you're going to need 12 bands. Okay. So again, now we're going to go the opposite direction that we just came from. So remember, we're not going to get this one because that's the one we're being held from. We're going to go ahead and grab this band from here. And let's start. Okay, so again we have 3 left and I am at that part where my crossband is at. And with that crossband, we're going to go ahead and grab these 2 right above it. And we're also going to go inside that crossband. So you're going to grab me down to 4 bands. Reclaim it onto your hook and then pull it through. Now we're going to grab the ones from the bottom. So again, remember, look for the ones that are together. It's these. So you're going to grab those. And then finish off your last two. There is row number 6. Now time for row number 7. Row number 7, you're going to need 13 bands. And again, we're going to go now the opposite direction. So we're going to go ahead and skip this one we're being pulled from. Let's go and focus. And you're going to go directly onto your next one. So this one. There. Okay, again, I'm down to my last 3 bands, and I'm on my cross one now. So I'm going to grab, again, those top 2. And I'm going to grab those cross ones. So I have 4 bands now. Pull it through, reclaim it, and then pull it through. Now again, right here I can see the one's being pulled, so I'm going to grab this one. Okay. And on to the next one. Okay. Requires 14 bands, so again, this time we're going to go again, one more time, right over across on the opposite side. You're going to skip that one you're pulling from. You're going to go directly onto your next one. There's my last 3 bands. I'm at the cross. So I'm going to go ahead and grab again the top 2. And then the cross ones. Pull it through, reclaim it, and pass it through. Now right here, this one's being taken, so I'm going to grab this one. And there we go. 25 bands are needed for this row, and we're going to do no more crossing actually, so we're going to continue on this one. Actually, yeah, no, sorry. We are going to do crossing. So again, I'm pulling from this one, so I'm not going to grab that one, I'm going to grab this one. So again, we're going to go the opposite side. And keep going until you have used all 25 of your bands. I'm here at my cross. I'm going to grab these 2 up here. And then I'm going to go inside the 2 cross bands. So I grab all 4 and again pass them through. And now right here, this one that is being held is not the one I'm going to grab, so I'm going to grab this one. And now I can continue on with the rest of my bands. down to my last two, and also my last two sections on this row. So this is my last one. Okay, that's my last one. Because there's no more that I can go unless I go up. Here's my last band. So I'm done with my 25 bands. I'm going to use 25 bands. We're going to continue on. We are at that cross band right now. See how there's that gap? We're going to go ahead and grab the two under the cross band. Just right under right there. Okay, and now we're going to grab the two cross bands. So now we have 4 bands, plus these two, that's 6. Grab your first band, pull it through the initial 4, reclaim it, and now pull these two through your back 2. There's a beginning of your next row. Now continue all the way around. You're not going to grab that one because it's being claimed by that cross one, so you're going to go directly onto this one. You see how those two are together? So I'm going to go ahead and split them up and grab the top 2. Okay, after this one, I'm at my last band, so I'm gonna grab this last section, put my last band. Okay, the opposite way, but we need to go ahead and grab some from here. Now, obviously this will be the next one that we were gonna grab, but instead we're actually gonna skip that one and go directly onto this one. Okay, so I'm gonna grab those. So remember to skip one and go directly onto the next one. Grab your first band and pull it through. You're gonna do one more on top, which is this one. Okay. And now you're actually gonna go and go the opposite direction. So you obviously cannot do this one because you just grabbed it, so you're gonna grab this one. Alright. So like that. Now keep going until we've used all the rest of our bands. This is my last one. Okay. For our last row, what we're going to do is the same thing that we did on this side. We're going to go ahead and skip that one that we should have gone to next. We're going to go directly onto the next one. You're going to go up one more time. Oh, sorry, we're using 7 bands. So that was 1 of 7. I'm going to go on to the next one. Alright, and now that I did 2, now I'm going to go ahead and flip it because I'm going to go over the opposite direction, okay? I'm going to use the final 5 bands. So obviously I don't want that one because it's being pulled from there, so I'm going to grab this next one right here. Like this. There we go. Alright. And this is my last band. And that's it. Alright. And the reason we stop right here in the middle is because that's where we started. There's an even amount of rows on each side. So I'm going to use a clip. So that way I can be able to hold it on for now. So I can be able to work on my shoe topper. And if you want, you can go ahead and you can hold it onto another part if you want to, so it doesn't come apart on you. But if you stretch them out, then you can see that it's pretty much even. So that way you know that you did it correctly. And there's one shoe. Now we're going to go ahead and work on the top of the shoe. Okay, this is the last stage for our shoes. For the shoe design, we need our top part, and we're going to be creating that right now. I'm going to be using a monster tail, but you can use a loom if you want to. All you have to do is just go ahead and grab 4 pegs and on each side, so you're going to be using 8 in total. The first row is going to have 16 bands. So you're going to be grabbing 2 at a time. Right? 2 at a time. And you're going to be doing your figure 8s all around. So go ahead and grab 2 and do figure 8s all around on all 8 pegs. Alright, that was pretty easy. So that is our first row. Let's go on to row number 2. Row number 2 for the top part is going to consist of 40 bands. And for these 40 bands, we're going to be grabbing 3 at a time. So grab 3 of those bands. And you're going to be wrapping them around your hook 3 times. So that is 1 wrap. That is 2 wraps, so now it's on there 3 times, okay? Once you have that, you're going to grab 2 bands, and you're going to transfer these onto those 2 bands. When you have them on there, you're going to be placing them on all the pegs right on top of your previous ones. Just like so. So make sure that you do it for all of them. Just going to do that now. Again, 3 bands. Wrap it around so it goes 3 times around. So you're going to wrap it around twice. And there's 3 times. Okay. Got 2 bands. Transfer them all onto those 2 bands. Now I'm going to the next one. It doesn't matter what order you go to. It's not going to make a difference. Again, 3 bands. Wrap it around. And put it on 2 bands. Again, 3 bands. Make sure you push down so that way you have room so they won't fall off. Okay. Last section. Now it's around all of them. Once that is done, you're going to be grabbing the bottom 4 on every row and flipping them over. Make sure it's only the bottom 4, and you should have 4 bands left over. Bottom 4 and flip over. I don't want this one to fall off. Alright, now I flip them all in. They're all inside. We're done with row number 2. We're going to go on to row number 3. Row number 3 consists of 16 bands, and all we're going to do is grab 2 and put them right over regularly, just like that. Grab the next 2 and put them right over. The next 2. Okay, now that we have put them all on, we're gonna flip again the bottom 4 on every peg, and you should have 4 bands left behind. Alright, so I have 4 bands left behind. I already flipped over the bottom 4. We're done with row number 3. Now we're going to go ahead and finish it up with row number 4. This last row is going to consist of 8 bands. And the way we're going to do it is you're going to grab one band. You're going to cap it So it's going around twice. And the first one, just go ahead and pick a spot, doesn't matter which one. Make sure that you're going through all 4 of them. You're gonna pull in that cap band, reclaim it onto your hook, and I'm gonna put it onto the next peg onto the side. Doesn't matter which side, but I've already put it right there. Now I'm gonna go inside all of these, lead it right there, grab my next band, cap it. So now you're gonna go ahead and pull it through, reclaim it, and put them on the next peg over. Again, you're gonna go inside all of them, cap it, pull it through, reclaim it, and now put it on the next peg over. Then go inside all of them and continue doing this until you have gone all the way to the very end. There we go. Alright. Last one. Okay, now that I put it on that last one, I'm going to go back inside that peg. I'm going to grab one more band, and I'm going to go ahead and just slip it through and create a slip knot. Now that I have my slip knot, I can go ahead and take out the entire thing from my monster tail or your loom. Just go ahead and stretch it out so that way it takes the shape of that flower. And you want to just even it out. So there is our entrance hole for our foot. This one is going to help us go around the top of our shoe. And at the very end, we're just going to go ahead and wrap it around. We're going to be needing, I think, maybe 2 more bands for this part. First thing we need to do is grab those bands that we left behind on our clip, put our hook through so that way we can take out our clip. We're not going to need it. Okay, and once you have that, you're going to grab 2 more on this side. So you have 4 bands on your hook. Grab your shoe top. You're gonna find that this one is your top and this side is your bottom, and you can tell because this is where my slip knot is at, and everything is right there. And so our top has that kind of indent hole. That's what you want for our top. So I'm going to go ahead and grab from the bottom. I'm going to pull that slip knot through the 4 bands, just like that. And now we know how it's going to go. Now that we have that, I'm going to hold it with my finger, and we're going to continue going this direction, the direction that we were going with the band, since this one is a little bit higher and this one has to be evened out with it. I'm going to go ahead and grab a section, doesn't matter where, you can wrap it around with these bands here. All these bands on the outside are what we're going to be using. So if you want to count, there should be 8. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 right there, right behind this one. So that means you have to figure out the 8 sections. Obviously, these are going to be 1 and 2, so there's 2 already right there. And then there's going to be, so that is actually going to be like your half points, more likely. So that means that you have 3 sections here and 3 sections to do here, right? So since you kind of already have 1, you're just going to treat that as if 1. So the last one's going to be attached to that last part. So you're going to go ahead and find a spot right there. Since this is going to be 1, there has to be 3. You're going to find a spot right here in the middle. But since we already attached this one onto there, we have to attach the next part onto our lid. I'm going to grab 2 of those bands. You can grab 2 or 4. Let's just grab 4. It'll be a lot easier. I'm going to pull that slip knot through them. And I'm actually going to attach my other one and extend that slip knot. We may use 2 or we may use a third one, I don't know, depending on the stretchiness of your bands. Make sure you keep them ordered. You don't want this to flip over and like accidentally do the wrong side. So I'm going to keep it like this. It's already kind of twisting on me. And that's okay. So again, I'm going to find the spot right in the middle. I'm going to go ahead and just choose this one. Grab those 2. Grab the slip knot. Pull it through. Now I'm going to grab the next one. I already grabbed that one, so I'm going to grab this one. I'm going to grab those 4 bands. Pull it through. And now I'm going to grab that one where the crossband is at. I'm going to grab the crossband and the 2 bands under it. Pull it through. Now I'm going to do the next one. This one's already being held, so I'm going to grab this one. Grab the slip knot, pull it through. And it looks like I am going to have to extend it one more time. Now that I did the lid, I have to grab the shoe. So again, we have to divide the shoe into 3 parts. Well, this top part. This is going to be our perimeter. So we're going to do 1 right here, 1 right in the middle, and 1 on the side, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and just grab random ones right there, pull them through. Grab the next set, which are these. Yeah. No, that one's already being held, so I have to grab this one. There we go. Do another section. I'm just going to skip two sections and grab the next one. slip it through. Now to do the next one. That one's already being held, so I need to grab this one and slip it through. Now skip those two, grab the next section. Okay, grab the top again. This one's already being held, so I'm going to grab this one. Now I'm going to grab this crossband right here, the one that is obviously doubled. And I'm going to grab also two more just for extra support. Pull them through. I'm going to grab just one more slip knot because I'm going to need it for the end. Alright, we should be at our final two. This one's already being held, so I'm going to grab this one. Pull it through the slip knot. Grab that last section that is popping out at you. Right in the middle. Pull it through. And now that last section of 4 bands up here. Nope. I'm grabbing way too many. There we go. Pull them through. And I'm going to go back to that original spot. I'm going to go through the other way, where my bands are being held. I'm going to pull them through. Pull through the slip knot. Okay. And now the rest of the slip knot, I'm going to go ahead and just wrap it around my shoe. And that's going to hold it together. Ta-da! And there are our shoes. Okay. This is my special edition Yoshi. I did it all with Persian bands. And so you can see that he has gold pretty much all over, as well as these. These are the gold shaded brand. And his tongue, I made it a little bit longer than normal. So I'm going to go ahead and put in his shoes. You can be able to do the same thing for your Koopa Troopa once we get to that point. This will be the same exact design. It's a little bit harder to put them in if I don't stretch them the correct way. There we go. Now I can. Alright, there's one of his shoes. His little toes. Now, shoe number 2. Alright. Ta-da! I hope you enjoyed it. Keep watching more of our tutorials. If you like this new design, put a thumbs up. And we'll see you on to the next one. Bye!